The question is, how do I know if my accountant is any good? Now, this can be very tough because unlike some service providers or some products, with accountants, it's a little bit more difficult to just switch and to test out a whole bunch and go to the one that you like the most. So how do you know if you have a good accountant or not? I would propose that there are two primary tests that you can give. The first one is, do you understand them? Now, there is always going to be jargon. I myself even use it in these videos. I try not to, but it still comes out. It happens. I'm not talking about jargon. I'm talking about when they give you suggestions, when they give you advice. When you have that exit meeting, do you spend 75% of it going, what are you talking about? If that happens, then there's an issue with communication, whether between you and the accountant, or perhaps the accountant and your bookkeeper, or the information itself, or your business. There's confusion somewhere. If you do not understand your accountant, the advice that they're giving you, and what they're suggesting you do, and how they're explaining things, then that's a good time maybe that you should look somewhere else. The other one that I would suggest is, does your accountant provide recommendations to you based on a thorough analysis? What I mean by that is, oftentimes accountants will say, hey, you should do this, or you should do this. A good accountant will say, hey, looking at this, we might want to consider doing this or this. Here's some pros and cons of this option, pros and cons of this option, and my recommendation is this based on all of that. A good accountant will take the time to look at a situation from multiple angles and will take a wholesale view approach of that. A bad accountant will immediately jump to a conclusion and recommend it to you without providing any analysis. So that's how you can tell. So if you have an accountant that either provides recommendations quickly without any analysis or backup, or one that you simply don't understand, that's probably a sign that you don't have a good accountant. Good accountants provide good advice. That's what we're here for. As far as taxes and expenses and reducing your taxes, nearly every accountant does the same thing. There are different levels of being aggressive, and that's a discussion on its own. But as far as a good accountant will give you good advice. To get good advice, you need to have a balanced opinion that you can understand.